Know About Lord Buddha, a Great Teacher of the World's History by Saurabh Singh Chauhan. Disclaimers and copyrights. While every precaution has been taken in the preparation of this book, the publisher and author assumes no responsibility for errors or omissions, or for damages resulting from the use of the information contained herein. Copyright 2023 Saurabh Singh Chauhan. All rights reserved. No part of this document may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form, or by any means, electronic, mechanical, photocopying, recording, or otherwise, without prior permission. Table of Content. Introduction. Chapter 1: The Birth of the Buddha. The story of the Buddha's birth, including the prophecy made by the wise men. The Buddha's early life, including his education and marriage. Chapter 2: The Great Renunciation. The Buddha's decision to leave his comfortable life and go in search of enlightenment. The Buddha's journey through the forest and his encounters with the ascetics. Chapter 3: The Enlightenment. The Buddha's final night of meditation and his attainment of enlightenment. The Buddha's first teaching and the beginning of his journey as a spiritual teacher. Chapter 4: The Four Noble Truths. The Buddha's teaching on the Four Noble Truths, the foundation of Buddhist philosophy. The Buddha's teaching on the Noble Eightfold Path, the way to end suffering. Chapter 5: The Middle Way. The Buddha's teaching on the middle way, the path between the extremes of asceticism and indulgence. The Buddha's teaching on the importance of moderation and balance in all things. Chapter 6: The Five Precepts. The Buddha's teaching on the Five Precepts, the basic ethical guidelines for Buddhists. The Buddha's teaching on the importance of compassion and non-violence. Chapter 7: The Noble Eightfold Path. A detailed explanation of the Noble Eightfold Path, the way to end suffering. The Buddha's teaching on the importance of right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Chapter 8: The Wheel of Dharma. The Buddha's first teaching, in which he set forth the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. The beginning of the Buddha's journey as a spiritual teacher, and the spread of his teachings. Chapter 9: The Life of a Buddhist Monk. The daily life of a Buddhist monk, including their vows, practices, and duties. The importance of monasticism in Buddhism, and the role of monks in the Buddhist community. Chapter 10: The Women in the Buddha's Life. The important role of women in the Buddha's life, including his mother, his wife, and his first female disciples. The Buddha's teaching on the equality of men and women, and the importance of women in the Buddhist community. Chapter 11: The Death of the Buddha. The Buddha's final journey to Kushinagar, and his death at the age of 80. The Buddha's last words, and his final instructions to his disciples. Chapter 12: The Legacy of the Buddha. The spread of the Buddha's teachings, and the development of Buddhism into a major world religion. The influence of the Buddha's teachings on other religions and cultures. Chapter 13: The Buddha's Teachings Today. The relevance of the Buddha's teachings to the modern world. The ways in which the Buddha's teachings can help people to live happier and more fulfilling lives. Chapter 14: The Future of Buddhism. The challenges and opportunities facing Buddhism in the 21st century. The future of Buddhism in the West, and the potential for the Buddha's teachings to help to solve the world's problems. Chapter 15: Conclusion. A summary of the Buddha's life and teachings, and their significance for the world today. Chapter 16: Summary of all chapters. Chapter 17: Quotes of Lord Buddha. Chapter 18: Acknowledging the journey, gratitude to those who preserve history. Chapter 19: About the author. Chapter 20: Images or illustrations. Introduction. Know About Lord Buddha, a Great Teacher of the World's History. Welcome to the enchanting world of Lord Buddha, a book that takes you on a captivating journey through the life and teachings of one of the greatest spiritual teachers in history. In these pages, you will discover the extraordinary story of a prince who became an enlightened soul, inspiring millions around the world with his profound wisdom and boundless compassion. Once upon a time, in the ancient India, in the kingdom of Kapilavastu, a prophecy echoed through the land, a prophecy of a destined birth that would bring light to the world. It was the birth of a great soul, a soul that would guide humanity towards liberation and awakening. This soul was none other than Siddhartha Gautama, who later became known as Lord Buddha. Chapter 1: The Birth of the Buddha. Our journey commences with the tale of the Buddha's birth, filled with miraculous events and divine prophecies. Born into royalty, Prince Siddhartha led a life of comfort and luxury within the palace walls. Yet his heart yearned for answers to life's deeper questions about the nature of suffering, the purpose of existence, and the path to true happiness. Chapter 2: The Great Renunciation. One fateful day, the prince's path took a remarkable turn. Witnessing the suffering of ordinary people beyond the palace, Siddhartha was moved with compassion. This experience awakened a profound longing within him to seek the truth of existence and find a way to alleviate suffering. With a heart full of determination, he made a momentous decision to leave behind his princely life and embark on a quest for enlightenment. Chapter 3: The Enlightenment. Under the shade of a sacred Bodhi tree, Siddhartha engaged in deep meditation. After many days of profound contemplation, he experienced the ultimate awakening, the realization of the Four Noble Truths. At that moment, he became the Buddha, the Awakened One. His heart filled with boundless love and compassion, the Buddha embraced the path of selfless service to all beings, guiding them towards inner liberation. Chapter 4: The Four Noble Truths. The foundation of the Buddha's teachings lies in the Four Noble Truths, a profound understanding of human suffering and the path to its cessation. This timeless wisdom illuminates the causes of suffering, offering a compassionate remedy to transcend its hold on our lives. Chapter 5: The Middle Way. In his journey, the Buddha discovered the middle way, a path that avoids the extremes of self-indulgence and self-mortification. Embracing a balanced approach to life, he taught the importance of moderation and mindfulness in all actions, speech, and thoughts. Chapter 6: The Five Precepts. With great compassion, the Buddha shared the 5 precepts, ethical guidelines that form the bedrock of virtuous living. These precepts inspire us to embrace kindness, honesty, and compassion in our interactions with others, and cultivate a heart free from harm. Chapter 7: The Noble Eightfold Path. In the heart of his teachings lies the Noble Eightfold Path, a comprehensive guide to living a life of wisdom and virtue. This path encompasses right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. By walking this path, we can awaken our innate wisdom and experience true liberation. Chapter 8: The Wheel of Dharma. At the Deer Park in Sarnath, Varanasi, UP, India, the Buddha turned the wheel of Dharma, delivering his first sermon to the world. In this pivotal moment, he shared the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, setting in motion a journey that would transcend time and space, touching the hearts of countless seekers across generations. Chapter 9: The Life of a Buddhist Monk. Monastic life holds a special place in Buddhism, as monks and nuns devote their lives to the pursuit of truth and compassion. This chapter provides insights into the daily life of a Buddhist monk, their noble vows, meditation practices, and the crucial role they play in preserving and disseminating the teachings. Chapter 10: The Women in the Buddha's Life. The Buddha's teachings embrace the equality and empowerment of women, and this chapter celebrates the important role played by women in his life. From Queen Maya, his mother, to Yasodhara, his devoted wife, and the first ordained female disciples, women have been instrumental in upholding the Dharma. Chapter 11: The Death of the Buddha. As his time on earth drew to a close, the Buddha undertook his final journey to Kushinagara, where he attained parinirvana, final liberation. Before his passing, he left behind his last words, imparting timeless wisdom to his disciples and inspiring them to continue spreading the light of compassion and understanding. Chapter 12: The Legacy of the Buddha. The journey of Lord Buddha did not end with his physical passing. It lives on through the legacy of his teachings. This chapter explores the enduring impact of the Buddha's wisdom on humanity, as Buddhism evolved into a major world religion and shaped the hearts and minds of millions. Chapter 13: The Buddha's Teachings Today. Even in the bustling world of the 21st century, the teachings of Lord Buddha remain relevant and resonant. This chapter reveals how his timeless wisdom can enrich our lives, nurture our well-being, and foster harmony amidst the challenges of modern living. Chapter 14: The Future of Buddhism. The journey of Buddhism continues into the future as it encounters new opportunities and challenges. From its presence in the West to addressing contemporary issues, Buddhism holds the potential to offer transformative solutions to the world's problems. Chapter 15: Conclusion. In this chapter, we reflect on the profound significance of Lord Buddha's life and teachings. His boundless compassion, wisdom, and love continue to illuminate the path to inner peace and awakening for all beings. With a heart full of gratitude, we bow to the journey that brought us closer to the essence of Lord Buddha's wisdom, a timeless message that embraces the vast expanse of humanity and kindles the light of understanding in every heart. May this journey through the life and teachings of Lord Buddha inspire you to walk the path of compassion, wisdom, and love, enriching your life and the lives of those around you. As we embrace the wisdom of Lord Buddha, we carry his message of peace and liberation, spreading the light of understanding to all corners of the world. Let us embark on this remarkable journey together, hand in hand, illuminating our hearts with the brilliance of Lord Buddha's teachings. Chapter 1: The Birth of the Buddha. Welcome to the enchanting tale of the birth of the Buddha, a story that has captivated hearts for centuries. In this chapter, we will embark on a journey back in time to witness the divine events surrounding the arrival of the Enlightened One. We will explore the prophecy foretelling the birth of a great soul, the peaceful world into which he was born, and the early life of the prince who would eventually become the Buddha. 1. The prophecy of a great soul. Long ago, in the ancient India, in the kingdom of Kapilavastu, seers and sages had a vision that a great soul was about to descend upon the world. This prophecy spoke of a child who would bring profound wisdom and enlightenment to humanity. The wise men saw signs in the heavens and stars, affirming the divine nature of this impending birth. Among the seers was Asita, Buddha's father's advisor or teacher, a revered sage renowned for his spiritual insight. Upon witnessing the divine signs, Asita knew that the world was about to witness a momentous event. The anticipation of the arrival of this extraordinary soul filled the kingdom with hope and wonder. 2. The prince's peaceful world. In the serene kingdom of Kapilavastu, a young prince named Siddhartha Gautama was born. His father, King Suddhodana, and mother, Queen Maya, rejoiced in the arrival of their son, who would later become known as the Buddha. The kingdom itself was a haven of tranquility, where peace and harmony prevailed among the people and nature. Surrounded by lush gardens, serene lakes, and a compassionate community, the young prince grew up in a world untouched by the suffering and turmoil of the outside realm. The king, hoping to protect his son from the harsh realities of life, shielded Siddhartha within the walls of the palace. 3. The birth of Siddhartha Gautama. On the auspicious day of the prince's birth, celestial beings and heavenly music filled the air, celebrating the birth of the future Buddha. The young prince emerged from his mother's side, glowing with divine radiance, as if touched by the heavens themselves. The birth of the prince was a moment of unparalleled joy and divine blessings. It was said that he took 7 steps and proclaimed his purpose in this world to bring wisdom, compassion, and liberation to all living beings. 4. The wise men's vision. Asita, Buddha father's advisor or teacher, the sage who had foreseen the coming of the great soul, arrived at the palace to witness the newborn prince. Gazing upon the child, Asita confirmed the divine nature of the prince and predicted that he would grow up to be either a great king who would unite the world or a great spiritual leader who would liberate souls from suffering. With a heavy heart, Asita realized that the prince's destiny lay in spiritual awakening, and he would not witness his reign as a worldly king. This revelation left the king and queen with mixed emotions, knowing that their beloved son was destined for a profound spiritual journey. 5. Early life and education. Prince Siddhartha's early life was one of luxury and comfort, surrounded by loving parents and devoted caregivers. He received the finest education and was trained in various arts, sciences, and martial skills, as befitting a prince destined to be a ruler. Yet, despite the lavish lifestyle, the young prince was not untouched by the realities of life. The compassionate nature of Siddhartha made him acutely aware of the suffering that existed outside the palace walls. He often pondered the purpose of life and the true nature of happiness. 6. The prince's marriage. As Siddhartha matured, his father arranged a marriage with Princess Yasodhara, a noble and kind-hearted princess. The marriage was celebrated with great pomp and splendor, and it seemed that Siddhartha's life was destined to be one of comfort and luxury. However, beneath the facade of material wealth and royal privilege, Siddhartha's heart was filled with questions about the meaning of life and the suffering that plagued humanity. He yearned to find answers that transcended the ephemeral pleasures of the palace. In this chapter, we have begun our journey into the fascinating story of the birth of the Buddha. We have witnessed the divine prophecy, the peaceful world of the young prince, and the events leading up to his marriage. But the story does not end here. It is only the beginning of the remarkable journey that will lead Siddhartha Gautama to a profound spiritual awakening and the transformation into the Buddha. Stay tuned as we explore the subsequent chapters of the life of the Enlightened One and the timeless teachings he imparts to humanity. Chapter 2. The Great Renunciation. Welcome back to our enthralling journey into the life of the Buddha. In this chapter, we will witness a pivotal moment in the young prince's life, the Great Renunciation. As we explore the profound decision that led him to leave behind a life of comfort and luxury, in search of the ultimate truth and enlightenment. Through the dense forests and encounters with ascetics, we will discover the trials and triumphs of Siddhartha Gautama on his path to becoming the Buddha. 1. A life of luxury. The young prince Siddhartha Gautama lived a life of luxury within the confines of the opulent palace. Surrounded by every conceivable comfort, he enjoyed the pleasures of the material world. Yet a deep sense of discontent began to grow within him, as he felt an emptiness that wealth and luxury could not fill. 2. The call of the heart. As Siddhartha matured, his heart yearned for something beyond the confines of the palace walls. He could not ignore the suffering and impermanence of life that existed outside the luxurious world he knew. The longing for truth and liberation grew stronger within him, beckoning him towards a higher purpose. 3. Farewell to the palace. The day of the Great Renunciation arrived when Siddhartha made the momentous decision to leave behind his princely life. In the dead of night, he bid farewell to his sleeping family, knowing that his quest for enlightenment would lead him on a path unknown to them. With unwavering determination, Siddhartha stepped out of the palace, leaving behind the riches and comfort he had known all his life. Clad in simple robes, he ventured into the vast unknown, guided only by the call of his heart. 4. The journey through the forest. Amidst the dense foliage of the forest, Siddhartha embarked on a solitary journey. He sought solitude and silence, the ideal environment for contemplation and self-discovery. The forest became his refuge, sheltering him from the distractions of the world. 5. Encounters with ascetics. In his quest for truth, Siddhartha encountered ascetics, wandering seekers who pursued spiritual liberation through extreme self-mortification. He observed their rigorous practices and admired their dedication to their beliefs. Despite this, Siddhartha realized that extreme asceticism was not the path to enlightenment. 6. The middle way. The young seeker understood that the key to enlightenment lay in neither indulgence nor extreme self-denial. Instead, he sought a balanced path, the middle way. Rejecting the extremes of asceticism and indulgence, he resolved to find the truth through a mindful and balanced approach to life. 7. Meditation and inner struggles. Deep in the forest, Siddhartha practiced intense meditation, seeking to understand the nature of existence and the root of suffering. He faced inner struggles and battled the distractions of the mind. Yet he persevered, unwavering in his determination to uncover the truth. 8. The turning point. In a moment of profound realization, Siddhartha experienced a breakthrough. Underneath the Bodhi tree, he attained enlightenment, becoming the awakened one, the Buddha. His mind was clear and liberated, and he saw the world with an all-encompassing compassion that embraced all beings. 9. The light of wisdom. Having attained enlightenment, the Buddha radiated a newfound light of wisdom and compassion. The struggles of his journey were transformed into an all-encompassing love for humanity. He knew that he had discovered the path to liberation from suffering, and that he must share this profound wisdom with the world. 10. The beginning of a sacred mission. With his heart overflowing with compassion, the Buddha resolved to share his insights with all who were willing to listen. He began his mission to teach the Dharma, the truth that would lead others to liberation from suffering. In this chapter, we have witnessed the great renunciation of Prince Siddhartha Gautama and his transformative journey through the forest. We have seen him encounter ascetics and realize the importance of the middle way. Finally, we stood witness to the moment when he attained enlightenment and became the Buddha, the awakened one. As we move forward on this incredible journey, we will delve into the teachings of the Buddha and the profound impact of his wisdom on humanity. Stay with us as we continue to explore the timeless teachings of the Enlightened One in the subsequent chapters of this remarkable tale. Chapter 3. The Enlightenment. Welcome back to our fascinating journey into the life of the Buddha. In this chapter, we will witness the most transformative moments of his life, the Enlightenment. As we delve into the profound events of the Buddha's final night of meditation, the attainment of his enlightenment, and the beginning of his journey as a spiritual teacher. Prepare to be inspired by the wisdom and compassion that illuminated the heart of the awakened one. 1. The final night of meditation. Underneath the serene shade of the Bodhi tree, the Buddha entered into a deep state of meditation. This night was unlike any other, as he vowed not to rise until he had attained the ultimate truth and liberation. The forest echoed with a sense of divine presence as the young seeker immersed himself in profound introspection. 2. The temptations and trials. As the night wore on, the Buddha faced the trials of Mara, the tempter. Mara sought to distract and discourage the meditating seeker, sending illusions and temptations to disrupt his focused state. Yet the Buddha remained steadfast, recognizing these distractions for what they were and continuing his unwavering pursuit of truth. 3. The morning star. As dawn approached, a brilliant light began to emerge on the horizon, the morning star. In that fleeting moment of clarity, the Buddha experienced a profound revelation. He saw the interconnection of all beings, the impermanence of existence, and the universal law of cause and effect. 4. The attainment of enlightenment. With his heart full of compassion and understanding, the Buddha attained enlightenment. In that moment of awakening, he comprehended the Four Noble Truths: the nature of suffering, its origin, the path to its cessation, and the path to true liberation. The prince who had once lived a life of luxury and privilege had now become the enlightened one, the Buddha, the awakened and compassionate teacher who would forever change the course of human history. 5. The first teaching. Filled with newfound wisdom and love, the Buddha knew that he must share his insights with the world. He sought out the 5 ascetics who had once accompanied him on his journey of self-denial. Finding them in the deer park in Sarnath, Varanasi, UP, India, the Buddha delivered his first teaching, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra, the discourse on setting in motion the wheel of Dharma. In this foundational teaching, the Buddha expounded the 4 Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, the path that leads to the cessation of suffering and the realization of true enlightenment. The hearts of the ascetics were touched by the profundity of the Buddha's words, and they became the first members of the Sangha, the community of Buddhist monks. 6. The beginning of a spiritual journey. With this first teaching, the Buddha's journey as a spiritual teacher had begun. He embarked on a tireless mission to share his wisdom and compassion with all who were willing to listen. People from all walks of life were drawn to the Buddha's teachings, captivated by the simplicity, clarity, and universality of his message. 7. The gift of compassion. Throughout his teachings, the Buddha emphasized the importance of compassion and loving kindness. He encouraged his followers to cultivate a heart of boundless love and to extend goodwill to all beings. The Buddha's compassion knew no bounds, and he tirelessly offered guidance and solace to those who sought his wisdom. 8. The turning of the wheel of Dharma. The Buddha's teachings spread far and wide, and he continued to share his insights and wisdom for the remaining years of his life. He delivered numerous discourses, addressing a wide range of topics from ethics and morality to the nature of existence and the mind. The moment of the Buddha's enlightenment and his first teaching in the deer park is celebrated as Dharma Chakra Pravartan Day, or Turning the Wheel of Dharma Day, by Buddhists around the world. 9. The legacy of enlightenment. The Buddha's enlightenment marked the beginning of a legacy that would endure for millennia. His teachings transcended cultural and geographical boundaries, spreading across Asia and beyond. The wisdom of the Buddha continues to inspire countless souls, offering solace, guidance, and the promise of liberation from suffering. In this chapter, we have witnessed the most profound moments of the Buddha's life, the night of meditation that led to his enlightenment, and his first teaching in Sarnath. Through his awakening, the Buddha unlocked the timeless wisdom that would guide humanity toward a path of compassion, wisdom, and true liberation. Chapter 4. The 4 Noble Truths. Welcome to a pivotal chapter in our exploration of the Buddha's teachings, the 4 Noble Truths. In this chapter, we will delve into the heart of Buddhist philosophy as the Buddha expounds on the profound truths that form the foundation of his teachings. These truths are universal in nature, offering deep insights into the nature of suffering and the path to liberation. As we unravel the wisdom of the 4 Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, the way to end suffering and attain true freedom. 1. The nature of suffering. The first noble truth is an acknowledgement of the reality of suffering. The Buddha taught that suffering is an inherent part of human existence. It manifests in various forms: physical, emotional, and psychological. From the minor irritations of everyday life to the profound pain of loss and despair, suffering touches every individual at some point in their journey. 2. The origin of suffering. The second noble truth delves into the causes of suffering. The Buddha identified attachment and craving as the root causes of human suffering. Attachment to material possessions, relationships, and desires creates a cycle of longing and dissatisfaction. Clinging to impermanent phenomena leads to inevitable disappointment and anguish. 3. The cessation of suffering. The third noble truth brings hope and solace. The Buddha proclaimed that suffering can be brought to an end. Just as the origins of suffering lie within the human mind, so does the potential for its cessation. By breaking free from the chains of attachment and craving, one can attain liberation from suffering and experience lasting peace and contentment. 4. The path to liberation. The fourth noble truth presents the path to end suffering, the Noble Eightfold Path. This path is a practical guide to living a life of wisdom, compassion, and moral virtue. It consists of 8 interconnected aspects that lead to enlightenment and liberation. The Noble Eightfold Path encompasses right understanding, developing wisdom and insight into the nature of reality. Right thought, cultivating thoughts of compassion, love, and non-harming. Right speech, speaking truthfully and compassionately, refraining from gossip or harsh words. Right action, engaging in actions that promote kindness, generosity, and ethical conduct. Right livelihood, choosing a livelihood that is ethical and does not harm others. Right effort, cultivating diligence and perseverance in following the path of awakening. Right mindfulness, developing present moment awareness and self-reflection. Right concentration, cultivating focused attention through meditation to attain mental clarity and tranquility. The Noble Eightfold Path provides a balanced and holistic approach to living a life of ethical conduct, mental discipline, and spiritual development. By walking this path, one can gradually free themselves from the bonds of suffering and realize the highest potential of their human nature. 5. The universality of the Four Noble Truths. The Buddha's teachings on the Four Noble Truths are universal in their applicability. They are not confined to a particular religion or culture, but resonate with the deepest human experiences. The truths offer profound insights into the human condition and provide a roadmap for navigating the challenges of life. 6. The wisdom of impermanence. Central to the Four Noble Truths is the wisdom of impermanence. The Buddha taught that all conditioned phenomena are subject to change, and clinging to the transient leads to suffering. By embracing the impermanent nature of existence, one can find freedom from attachment and gain a deeper appreciation for the preciousness of each moment. 7. The healing power of mindfulness. Mindfulness, a key component of the Noble Eightfold Path, plays a central role in the pursuit of liberation. By cultivating mindfulness, individuals can develop a deep awareness of their thoughts, emotions, and actions. Mindfulness allows one to respond to life's challenges with wisdom and compassion, rather than reacting with impulsivity and reactivity. 8. Compassion and interconnectedness. The Four Noble Truths also emphasize the interconnectedness of all beings. The recognition of suffering as a universal experience nurtures compassion and empathy for others. By understanding our shared humanity, we develop a sense of responsibility to alleviate the suffering of all living beings. In this chapter, we have explored the profound wisdom of the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. These timeless teachings form the bedrock of Buddhist philosophy, offering invaluable insights into the nature of suffering and the path to liberation. The truths provide a profound roadmap for living a life of wisdom, compassion, and spiritual awakening. Chapter 5. The Middle Way. Welcome to another captivating chapter in our journey through the wisdom of the Buddha. In this chapter, we will explore the profound teaching of the Middle Way, the path of moderation and balance. The Middle Way holds a crucial place in Buddhist philosophy, guiding seekers away from extremes of asceticism and indulgence, and leading them toward a balanced and harmonious life. As we uncover the significance of the Middle Way and the invaluable lessons it offers for navigating life's complexities. 1. Beyond extremes. The Buddha's own quest for truth led him to explore the extremes of human experience. In his early spiritual journey, he practiced severe asceticism, subjecting himself to rigorous self-denial and deprivation. Yet he found that extreme austerity did not hold the key to enlightenment. On the other hand, indulging in the pleasures of the world also proved to be an obstacle on the path to liberation. 2. The middle path emerges. Having transcended the limitations of both extremes, the Buddha realized that true wisdom and liberation lie in the middle way, a path that avoids the extremes of self-mortification and indulgence. The middle way embraces a balanced approach to life, encouraging moderation in all aspects of existence. 3. Balancing material and spiritual. The middle way teaches us that life is a delicate balance between the material and spiritual dimensions. While it acknowledges the importance of meeting our basic needs and responsibilities in the material world, it cautions against excessive attachment to possessions and worldly desires. By finding a harmonious balance between our material needs and spiritual aspirations, we can lead a fulfilled and meaningful life. 4. Cultivating equanimity. Central to the middle way is the cultivation of equanimity, the ability to maintain a calm and balanced mind in the face of life's ups and downs. Life is inherently impermanent, and the middle way encourages us to accept the changing nature of reality without clinging to transient experiences or running away from challenges. 5. Beyond dichotomies. The middle way transcends the limitations of dualistic thinking, recognizing that reality is interconnected and multifaceted. Rather than viewing the world in black and white, the middle way invites us to embrace the richness and complexity of life. By letting go of rigid beliefs and judgments, we can open ourselves to a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. 6. Finding balance in practice. In daily life, the middle way guides us to strike a balance in our actions, thoughts, and emotions. It encourages us to engage in ethical conduct without being overly rigid or dogmatic. It invites us to develop wisdom and insight without becoming overly intellectual or detached. By nurturing a mind of balance and moderation, we can navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. 7. The middle way in relationships. In our relationships with others, the middle way encourages us to cultivate compassion and empathy without losing sight of our own boundaries and well-being. It reminds us to treat others with kindness and respect, seeking to understand their perspectives without losing our own sense of self. 8. Embracing imperfection. The middle way also teaches us to embrace our imperfections and vulnerabilities with compassion and self-acceptance. Rather than striving for an unrealistic ideal, we can find contentment in the present moment and appreciate the beauty of our unique human experience. 9. A path for all. The wisdom of the middle way is universal and applicable to people from all walks of life. Whether young or old, rich or poor, the middle way offers a guiding light for living a life of balance, harmony, and contentment. 10. The journey of self-discovery. The middle way invites us to embark on a journey of self-discovery, exploring the depths of our own minds and hearts. Through self-awareness and mindfulness, we can uncover the patterns of attachment and aversion that cause suffering and liberate ourselves from their hold. In this chapter, we have delved into the profound teaching of the middle way, the path of moderation, balance, and harmony. The middle way reminds us to navigate life's complexities with equanimity, embracing both joy and sorrow with a heart of compassion. Chapter 6. The 5 Precepts. Welcome to a chapter that explores the ethical guidelines at the heart of Buddhist practice, the 5 Precepts. These principles provide a moral compass for Buddhists, guiding them in their actions and relationships. In this chapter, we will delve into the profound teachings of the Buddha on the 5 precepts and the importance of compassion and non-violence in leading a virtuous life. As we uncover the wisdom of these ethical guidelines and their relevance for fostering harmony and well-being in the world. 1. The foundation of ethical living. The 5 precepts are the cornerstone of ethical living for Buddhists. They are not rigid rules to be followed out of fear or obligation, but compassionate guidelines to be embraced with a heart of understanding and wisdom. These precepts encourage individuals to cultivate a sense of responsibility and mindfulness in their thoughts, speech, and actions. 2. The first precept, refraining from harming living beings. The first precept calls for non-harming and reverence for all forms of life. Buddhists are encouraged to abstain from causing harm to living beings, whether through physical violence or harmful speech. This principle extends to all creatures, great and small, and reflects the recognition of the interconnectedness of all life. 3. The second precept, refraining from taking what is not given. The second precept advocates for honesty and respect for others' property. Buddhists are encouraged to refrain from stealing or taking what does not belong to them. This precept fosters a spirit of contentment and generosity, recognizing that our actions impact the well-being of others. 4. The third precept, refraining from sexual misconduct. The third precept emphasizes the importance of cultivating wholesome and respectful relationships. Buddhists are encouraged to avoid engaging in sexual misconduct, which includes actions that cause harm to oneself or others. This precept promotes healthy and responsible expressions of intimacy. 5. The fourth precept, refraining from false speech. The fourth precept highlights the significance of truthful and kind communication. Buddhists are encouraged to refrain from lying, gossiping, or engaging in harmful speech that causes discord or misunderstanding. This precept fosters harmony and trust in relationships. 6. The fifth precept, refraining from intoxicants. The fifth precept encourages mindfulness and clarity of mind. Buddhists are encouraged to avoid intoxicants that cloud the mind and lead to heedlessness. By cultivating awareness, individuals can make wise and compassionate choices in their lives. 7. Compassion and the five precepts. At the heart of the five precepts is compassion, the wish for the well-being of all beings. Each precept reflects the compassionate intention to protect and nurture life, both our own and that of others. Compassion allows individuals to embody these precepts with genuine care and concern for the welfare of all beings. 8. Empowering ethical choices. The five precepts empower individuals to make ethical choices in their daily lives. Rather than imposing strict rules, the precepts offer a flexible framework for navigating complex moral situations. By cultivating mindfulness and ethical discernment, individuals can make choices aligned with the principles of compassion and non-harming. 9. A path to inner peace. Following the five precepts provides a foundation for inner peace and self-restraint. By cultivating ethical behavior, individuals free themselves from the burden of guilt and regret and experience a sense of integrity and contentment. 10. The precepts in the modern world. The teachings of the Buddha on the five precepts remain relevant and applicable in the modern world. In a society often driven by materialism and self-interest, these ethical guidelines offer a path to foster compassion, respect, and social harmony. 11. Cultivating ethical awareness. The practice of the five precepts is not about achieving perfection, but rather about cultivating ethical awareness and learning from our mistakes. When individuals veer from these guidelines, they are encouraged to reflect on their actions with compassion and resolve to make amends. 12. The five precepts in community. The five precepts also serve as a unifying force within Buddhist communities. By adhering to these shared ethical principles, members of the community create an environment of trust, mutual support, and spiritual growth. In this chapter, we have explored the profound teachings of the Buddha on the five precepts, the ethical guidelines that foster compassionate living and harmonious relationships. These precepts serve as a moral compass for Buddhists, offering a path to cultivate mindfulness, compassion, and non-violence in their lives. Chapter 7. The Noble Eightfold Path. Welcome to a chapter that delves into the heart of Buddhist practice, the Noble Eightfold Path. This path is the essence of the Buddha's teachings, offering a comprehensive and practical guide to living a life of wisdom, compassion, and liberation. In this chapter, we will explore the profound wisdom of the Noble Eightfold Path, which leads to the end of suffering and the realization of true happiness. As we unravel the intricacies of this transformative path and its significance for attaining inner peace and awakening. 1. Right understanding. The Noble Eightfold Path begins with right understanding, which is the wisdom that sees things as they truly are. It involves understanding the nature of suffering, impermanence, and the interconnectedness of all beings. Right understanding allows us to develop insight and clarity, laying the foundation for the entire path. 2. Right thought. Right thought refers to cultivating wholesome and compassionate thoughts. It involves letting go of harmful and negative thoughts, such as greed, hatred, and delusion, and replacing them with thoughts of loving kindness, compassion, and wisdom. Right thought shapes the intentions that guide our actions and speech. 3. Right speech. Right speech emphasizes the importance of mindful and truthful communication. It involves refraining from lying, gossiping, harsh speech, and divisive language. Right speech fosters harmony in relationships and creates a positive and uplifting atmosphere. 4. Right action. Right action pertains to ethical conduct and virtuous behavior. It entails refraining from harming living beings, stealing, and engaging in sexual misconduct. Right action cultivates a sense of responsibility and respect for all beings. 5. Right livelihood. Right livelihood is about choosing a livelihood that aligns with ethical principles. It involves earning a living in a way that does not harm others or contribute to suffering. Right livelihood encourages individuals to engage in meaningful and compassionate work. 6. Right effort. Right effort is the dedicated effort to cultivate wholesome qualities and let go of unwholesome ones. It involves cultivating positive mental states such as mindfulness, concentration, and loving kindness, while diminishing negative mental states like anger, greed, and ignorance. 7. Right mindfulness. Right mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the present moment. It involves developing awareness of our thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and the world around us. Right mindfulness allows us to break free from automatic reactions and respond to life with clarity and wisdom. 8. Right concentration. Right concentration refers to the cultivation of focused and tranquil mental states through meditation. It involves developing one-pointed attention and deepening our insight into the nature of reality. Right concentration leads to profound states of inner peace and wisdom. The Noble Eightfold Path is not a linear progression, but an interwoven tapestry of interconnected factors. Each factor supports and enhances the others, creating a holistic path to awakening. Practicing the Noble Eightfold Path is a gradual process that requires dedication, patience, and perseverance. By following the Noble Eightfold Path, individuals cultivate a mind and heart that are free from greed, hatred, and delusion. They develop wisdom and compassion, which become the guiding principles in their lives. The path leads to liberation from suffering and the realization of the inherent peace and freedom within oneself. The Eightfold Path is not confined to the meditation cushion, but is meant to be integrated into every aspect of daily life. It is a path of mindful living, where compassion and wisdom infuse each moment, whether at work, in relationships, or during moments of solitude. The teachings of the Noble Eightfold Path are as relevant today as they were in the time of the Buddha. In a world filled with distractions and turmoil, the path offers a sanctuary of inner calm and clarity. It empowers individuals to face life's challenges with resilience and equanimity. The Noble Eightfold Path is not a rigid set of rules, but a flexible and compassionate guide for seekers of truth. It accommodates the unique circumstances and capacities of each individual, offering a path that is both accessible and transformative. In this chapter, we have explored the profound teachings of the Noble Eightfold Path, the path to liberation and the end of suffering. This path invites us to develop wisdom and compassion, to live mindfully, and to nurture wholesome qualities in our hearts. Chapter 8. The Wheel of Dharma. Welcome to a chapter that unveils a pivotal moment in history, the turning of the Wheel of Dharma. This momentous event marked the beginning of the Buddha's journey as a spiritual teacher and the spread of his profound teachings. In this chapter, we will explore the significance of the Wheel of Dharma, where the Buddha expounded the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. As we witness the profound wisdom of these teachings and their enduring impact on humanity. 1. Setting the stage. The setting is a tranquil deer park in Sarnath, Varanasi, UP, India, where the Buddha had gathered his first 5 disciples, those who had walked alongside him in his quest for enlightenment. The air was charged with anticipation, as the enlightened one prepared to share the profound truths he had realized under the Bodhi tree. 2. The first turning of the wheel. As the Buddha began to speak, a metaphorical wheel of Dharma was set in motion. This metaphor symbolizes the turning of the wheel of truth, releasing the boundless wisdom and compassion that would guide beings to liberation. 3. The Four Noble Truths. At the core of the Wheel of Dharma are the Four Noble Truths, the foundational teachings that lay bare the nature of suffering and the path to its cessation. The first noble truth, the truth of suffering. The Buddha spoke of the truth of suffering, acknowledging the inevitable presence of suffering in human existence. He compassionately recognized the struggles and challenges each person faces. The second noble truth, the origin of suffering. In this truth, the Buddha revealed that suffering arises from attachment and craving. He pointed to the endless cycle of desire and aversion as the source of our pain. The third noble truth, the cessation of suffering. With great wisdom, the Buddha proclaimed that the cessation of suffering is possible. By letting go of attachment and craving, we can find liberation from suffering. The fourth noble truth, the path to the cessation of suffering. The Buddha unveiled the Noble Eightfold Path, a transformative path that leads to the end of suffering. This path offers a clear roadmap for ethical living and the cultivation of wisdom and compassion. 4. The Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path is the heart of the Wheel of Dharma, illuminating the way to attain enlightenment and free ourselves from the cycle of suffering. It comprises 8 interconnected aspects that work in harmony to lead to awakening. Right understanding, insight into the nature of reality and the Four Noble Truths. Right thought, cultivating wholesome and compassionate thoughts. Right speech, engaging in truthful and kind communication. Right action, practicing ethical conduct and virtuous behavior. Right livelihood, choosing a livelihood that aligns with ethical principles. Right effort, cultivating positive mental states and overcoming negative ones. Right mindfulness, developing awareness and presence in the present moment. Right concentration, cultivating focused and tranquil states of mind through meditation. 5. The profound impact. The teaching of the Wheel of Dharma had a profound impact on those who heard it, and its impact continues to reverberate throughout the world. The Buddha's first disciples experienced a profound transformation, realizing the truth of the teachings and embarking on their own spiritual journeys. 6. The spread of the Dharma. The turning of the Wheel of Dharma marked the beginning of the Buddha's journey as a spiritual teacher. Over the next several decades, the Buddha tirelessly traveled across the Indian subcontinent, sharing his wisdom and teachings with people from all walks of life. 7. The Dharma for all. The teachings of the Wheel of Dharma are universal, transcending time, culture, and geography. The wisdom of the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path continues to inspire and guide seekers on the path of awakening. 8. Applying the Dharma today. The teachings of the Wheel of Dharma remain as relevant today as they were over 2 millennia ago. In a world marked by turmoil and uncertainty, the Dharma offers a beacon of hope and a path to inner peace and transformation. 9. Embodying the Dharma. The essence of the Wheel of Dharma lies not only in understanding its teachings, but in embodying them in our daily lives. By cultivating compassion, wisdom, and ethical conduct, we can tread the path of the Dharma and contribute to a more harmonious and compassionate world. As we conclude this chapter on the Wheel of Dharma, we are reminded of the timeless wisdom it contains. The Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path offer a profound and compassionate guide for living a meaningful and awakened life. Chapter 9. The Life of a Buddhist Monk. In this chapter, we embark on a journey into the world of Buddhist monasticism, a way of life dedicated to the pursuit of spiritual growth, compassion, and wisdom. As we explore the daily life of a Buddhist monk, including their vows, practices, and duties, we will also delve into the profound importance of monasticism in Buddhism and the pivotal role monks play in preserving and propagating the teachings of the Buddha. 1. Embracing simplicity. At the heart of a Buddhist monk's life is the spirit of simplicity. Monastic life is a deliberate choice to let go of worldly attachments and live with contentment, having only the essentials. Monks renounce material possessions and luxuries, finding joy in a life unburdened by material desires. 2. Taking the vows. When a person chooses to become a monk, they take on a set of precepts and vows, embracing a life guided by ethical principles. These vows include abstaining from harming living beings, refraining from dishonesty, avoiding sexual relationships, avoiding intoxicants, and adopting a life of simplicity. 3. A day in the life of a monk. A typical day in the life of a Buddhist monk begins early in the morning. The day starts with meditation and chanting, setting the tone for a day of mindful living. Monks engage in various activities such as studying scriptures, performing rituals, and engaging in communal work. Regular periods of meditation and reflection punctuate their day. 4. Meditation, the path to inner peace. Meditation is a central practice in the life of a Buddhist monk. Through meditation, monks cultivate mindfulness, concentration, and insight. This inward journey leads to profound states of inner peace and wisdom, allowing them to understand the nature of the mind and reality. 5. Alms rounds, a practice of humility and dependence. Monks traditionally rely on alms rounds for their sustenance. In this practice, monks walk through the community, receiving food offerings from laypeople. Alms rounds foster a sense of humility in the monks and provide laypeople with the opportunity to offer generosity and merit. 6. Study and learning. Monks dedicate themselves to the study and contemplation of Buddhist scriptures and teachings. The pursuit of knowledge and wisdom is considered essential for their spiritual development. Through study and reflection, monks deepen their understanding of the Dharma. 7. Monastic brotherhood. Monastic life fosters a strong sense of brotherhood among monks. Living in a supportive community, they share their joys and challenges, offering each other guidance and encouragement on the path to awakening. 8. Monastic discipline. Monastic discipline plays a crucial role in maintaining harmony and order within the monastic community. Rules and guidelines are established to ensure ethical conduct, mindfulness, and respect for the monastic life. 9. Role in the Buddhist community. Monks play a vital role in the Buddhist community as spiritual guides and teachers. They offer teachings, guidance, and support to lay practitioners, helping them deepen their understanding and practice of the Dharma. 10. The importance of monasticism. Monasticism is the bedrock of Buddhism, preserving the teachings of the Buddha and passing them down through generations. Monks, through their dedicated practice and example, inspire others to walk the path of awakening. 11. Embodying the teachings. Monastic life is not just about following rules, but embodying the teachings of the Buddha. The life of a monk exemplifies the principles of compassion, mindfulness, and ethical conduct, inspiring others through their way of being. 12. Monasticism in modern times. In today's fast-paced and modern world, the significance of monasticism remains undiminished. Monasteries and monastic communities continue to be centers of learning, meditation, and spiritual renewal. As we conclude this chapter on the life of a Buddhist monk, we are reminded of the profound dedication and simplicity that characterize this noble path. The life of a monk exemplifies the timeless teachings of the Buddha, inviting us to embrace simplicity, compassion, and wisdom in our own lives. Chapter 10. The Women in the Buddha's Life. In this chapter, we celebrate the important and influential role of women in the life of the Buddha. As we explore the stories of the remarkable women who played pivotal roles in shaping the Buddha's journey and the early Buddhist community, we will also delve into the Buddha's teachings on gender equality and the significant place of women in the Buddhist community. 1. Queen Maya, the Mother's Love. The story begins with Queen Maya, the Buddha's mother. It is said that before his birth, she had a dream of a white elephant entering her womb, foretelling the arrival of a great soul. Queen Maya's profound love and care provided the foundation for the Buddha's journey of awakening. 2. Yasodhara, the supportive partner. Yasodhara was the Buddha's devoted wife and partner. When Prince Siddhartha left the palace to seek enlightenment, Yasodhara supported his decision with love and understanding. Despite the hardships of separation, she remained steadfast in her faith and belief in his path. 3. Mahapajapati Gautami, the first bhikkhuni. Pajapati Gautami, the Buddha's stepmother or maternal aunt, played a crucial role in the early Sangha. After the Buddha's enlightenment, she requested permission for women to join the monastic order. This led to the establishment of the first community of bhikkhunis, fully ordained nuns, in the Buddhist tradition. 4. The bhikkhunis, pioneers of the path. The bhikkhunis, following the footsteps of Pajapati Gautami, became pioneers of the Buddhist path. These dedicated women renounced worldly life, taking on the monastic life with unwavering commitment. They embraced meditation, study, and ethical living with the same fervor as their male counterparts. 5. Gender equality in Buddhism. The Buddha's teachings on gender equality were revolutionary for his time. He challenged the prevailing social norms by allowing women to become fully ordained bhikkhunis and participate in the monastic community on an equal footing with men. 6. Upholding dignity and respect. The Buddha emphasized the importance of treating all beings with dignity and respect, regardless of gender. He encouraged monks and lay followers to regard both men and women with compassion and understanding, transcending societal biases. 7. Women's spiritual potential. The Buddha recognized the spiritual potential of both men and women, affirming that enlightenment is attainable by all beings who diligently walk the path of awakening. He encouraged women to develop wisdom, compassion, and virtue, and many women in the early Sangha achieved profound spiritual realization. 8. Contributions to the Dharma. Throughout history, women have made significant contributions to the preservation and dissemination of the Buddha's teachings. Their dedication to studying and practicing the Dharma has enriched the Buddhist tradition and inspired countless practitioners. 9. The legacy of women in Buddhism. The legacy of women in Buddhism continues to thrive in the modern world. Women monks, scholars, and practitioners play vital roles in preserving the teachings and engaging in humanitarian efforts and social activism. 10. The importance of inclusivity. The Buddha's inclusion of women in the monastic order sends a powerful message of inclusivity and equality. This foundation of gender equality remains a guiding principle for Buddhist communities worldwide. 11. Embracing diversity. Buddhism embraces diversity, recognizing the uniqueness of each individual while acknowledging the interconnectedness of all beings. The teachings encourage us to break down barriers and cultivate an inclusive and compassionate community. 12. Inspiring future generations. The stories of the women in the Buddha's life serve as timeless examples of dedication, compassion, and wisdom. They inspire future generations of practitioners to embrace the path of awakening with courage and perseverance. As we conclude this chapter on the women in the Buddha's life, we are reminded of the profound impact they had on the early Buddhist community and the enduring legacy of gender equality in Buddhism. The stories of these remarkable women serve as a reminder that the path of awakening is open to all beings, regardless of gender. Chapter 11. The Death of the Buddha. In this poignant chapter, we reflect on the final journey of Lord Buddha, the great teacher who illuminated the path of wisdom and compassion. As we delve into the events leading to the Buddha's passing and the profound teachings he imparted during his last days, this chapter captures the essence of impermanence and the timeless wisdom that the Buddha left as his legacy. 1. The journey to Kushinagara. As the Buddha approached the age of 80, he knew that his time on earth was drawing to a close. With a heart full of compassion, he embarked on a journey to Kushinagara, a peaceful town in the Malla Republic. The Buddha knew that this would be his final resting place. 2. A teaching to remember. Throughout the journey, the Buddha continued to teach and inspire his disciples. His compassion knew no bounds, and he used every opportunity to impart wisdom and guidance. His words were like precious gems, cherished by all who heard them. 3. The serenity of parinirvana. Upon reaching Kushinagara, the Buddha lay down on a simple bed between two sal trees. Surrounded by his devoted disciples, the Buddha entered into a deep state of meditation, known as parinirvana, the final passing of an enlightened being. His face radiated serenity and peace as he transcended the limitations of the physical body. 4. The Great Departure. As news of the Buddha's impending passing spread, people from all walks of life came to pay their respects. Kings, nobles, monks, and laypeople gathered to honor the one who had touched their hearts with his teachings. The atmosphere was one of profound sadness and gratitude. 5. Ananda's grief. Ananda, the Buddha's loyal attendant, was deeply affected by the impending loss of his beloved teacher. Despite his sorrow, the Buddha reminded Ananda that death is an inevitable part of life, and one should not mourn the passing of an enlightened being. 6. The final instructions. In his last moments, the Buddha addressed his disciples, urging them to be a lamp unto themselves, to rely on their own inner wisdom, and to continue the practice of the Dharma with diligence and integrity. His final message emphasized the impermanence of all things and the importance of cultivating mindfulness and compassion. 7. The last words. As the Buddha's disciples gathered around him, they anxiously awaited his final words. With a serene smile, the Buddha reassured them, "All things that are born must die. Strive diligently." 8. The legacy of parinirvana. The Buddha's passing left a profound impact on his followers. Yet, even in his physical absence, the Dharma continued to flourish. The enlightened ones of the Sangha carried forth the teachings, preserving and propagating the wisdom that the Buddha had imparted. 9. The continuity of Dharma. The passing of the Buddha teaches us the impermanence of all things. Yet the Dharma, the timeless truth he shared, remains eternally relevant. The teachings of the Buddha continue to be a source of inspiration and solace for countless beings around the world. 10. Embracing impermanence. The Buddha's final journey reminds us of the impermanence of life. It encourages us to live with mindfulness and appreciation for the present moment. By embracing the reality of impermanence, we can cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude and wisdom. 11. Parinirvana as liberation. The Buddha's parinirvana is seen not as an end, but as a liberation, a transcendent state beyond the cycle of birth and death. It is a testament to the ultimate goal of Buddhist practice, to attain liberation from suffering and rebirth. 12. The light of the Buddha's wisdom. As we conclude this chapter on the death of the Buddha, we are reminded of the eternal light of his wisdom that continues to shine brightly. The Buddha's teachings illuminate the path to wisdom, love, and peace for all beings. Chapter 12. The Legacy of the Buddha. In this chapter, we delve into the enduring legacy of Lord Buddha, a legacy that has transcended time and continues to touch the lives of people across the globe. We explore the remarkable spread of the Buddha's teachings and the profound influence they have had on shaping not only Buddhism, but also other religions and cultures. 1. The spreading light of the Dharma. After the Buddha's passing, his disciples carried forth the torch of the Dharma, taking his teachings far and wide. Monks and nuns traveled to distant lands, sharing the wisdom and compassion of the Buddha's teachings. From the Indian subcontinent, Buddhism spread to neighboring regions and eventually to far-off lands like Sri Lanka, China, Korea, Japan, and Southeast Asia. 2. The rise of Buddhist scriptures. As Buddhism spread, the teachings of the Buddha were compiled into scriptures, preserving his words and insights for future generations. These sacred texts became the foundation for different schools and traditions of Buddhism. 3. The development of Buddhist schools. Over time, different interpretations and practices of Buddhism emerged, giving rise to various schools and traditions. Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana are among the major branches of Buddhism, each with its unique approach to the Dharma. 4. The impact on Asian cultures. As Buddhism spread to new regions, it integrated and adapted to local cultures, blending harmoniously with existing belief systems and practices. This cultural integration enriched the diversity of Buddhist expression and contributed to the flourishing of art, architecture, and literature in these regions. 5. Buddhism in China, the land of great wisdom. The arrival of Buddhism in China marked a significant cultural exchange. The teachings of the Buddha resonated deeply with the Chinese people, influencing philosophy, art, and societal values. Buddhist temples and monasteries adorn the landscape, becoming centers of learning and spiritual practice. 6. Buddhism in Japan, the land of the rising sun. In Japan, Buddhism took root and flourished, influencing every aspect of life, from art and literature to politics and ethics. Zen Buddhism, with its emphasis on meditation and mindfulness, became especially popular among the samurai class and intellectuals. 7. Buddhism in Southeast Asia, the land of serenity. Buddhism found a home in Southeast Asia, becoming an integral part of the region's cultural fabric. Theravada Buddhism became dominant in countries like Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, and Cambodia, fostering a deep reverence for the Buddha's teachings. 8. Buddhism in Tibet, the land of snow. In Tibet, Buddhism evolved into Vajrayana or Tibetan Buddhism, a path known for its rich symbolism and powerful spiritual practices. The Dalai Lama, as the spiritual leader of Tibetan Buddhism, became an iconic symbol of compassion and wisdom worldwide. 9. Buddhism in the modern world. In the modern era, Buddhism has transcended geographical boundaries. It has found adherents across the globe who seek its wisdom, mindfulness practices, and ethical principles to navigate the challenges of contemporary life. 10. Interfaith dialogues and influence. The teachings of the Buddha have inspired interfaith dialogues, fostering understanding and mutual respect among different religious traditions. Buddhist principles, such as compassion and nonviolence, have influenced global movements for peace and social justice. 11. Mindfulness and well-being. The practice of mindfulness, rooted in Buddhist meditation, has gained recognition in modern psychology and well-being. The cultivation of present-moment awareness has proven beneficial for reducing stress, improving mental health, and enhancing overall quality of life. 12. Environmental consciousness. Buddhist teachings on interconnectedness and the interdependence of all living beings have sparked an environmental consciousness among Buddhists. The reverence for all forms of life aligns with efforts to protect the planet and its ecosystems. 13. Engaged Buddhism, social activism for compassion. Engaged Buddhism emphasizes active involvement in social issues, driven by compassion and a commitment to alleviating suffering. Buddhists around the world engage in humanitarian work, advocating for peace, social justice, and the welfare of all beings. 14. The timeless relevance. The legacy of the Buddha remains a beacon of hope and inspiration for people seeking peace, wisdom, and compassion in their lives. The teachings continue to transcend cultures, languages, and centuries, guiding countless beings towards the path of awakening. As we conclude this chapter on the legacy of the Buddha, we are reminded of the profound impact that the Dharma has had on humanity. The teachings of the Buddha illuminate the path to wisdom, love, and peace, offering solace and guidance to people of all walks of life. Chapter 13. The Buddha's Teachings Today. In this chapter, we explore the timeless relevance of the Buddha's teachings in the modern world. As we delve into how the profound wisdom of the Buddha can enrich our lives, guide us through the challenges of today, and pave the way for a happier and more fulfilling existence. 1. Finding peace in a busy world. In today's fast-paced and hectic world, finding inner peace can seem like a daunting task. The Buddha's teachings offer a refuge, a path of mindfulness and meditation, to help us cultivate a sense of tranquility amidst the chaos. By turning inward and being present in each moment, we can experience a profound sense of peace and contentment. 2. Embracing impermanence. The Buddha's teaching on impermanence reminds us that change is an inevitable part of life. By accepting the impermanent nature of all things, we can develop resilience and adaptability, allowing us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and equanimity. 3. Letting go of attachments. Attachment to material possessions, relationships, or even ideas can lead to suffering. The Buddha's wisdom encourages us to let go of attachments, recognizing that true happiness lies in embracing impermanence and detaching ourselves from clinging desires. 4. The power of compassion. Compassion lies at the heart of the Buddha's teachings. In a world rife with division and strife, the practice of compassion becomes even more critical. By cultivating compassion towards ourselves and others, we can foster a more harmonious and empathetic society. 5. Cultivating mindfulness. Mindfulness, a key aspect of the Buddha's teachings, involves being fully present in the here and now. Through mindfulness, we can develop a deeper understanding of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, leading to greater self-awareness and personal growth. 6. Transforming anger and hatred. The Buddha's teachings offer practical methods to transform destructive emotions like anger and hatred. By replacing these negative emotions with love and understanding, we can foster healthier relationships and create a more compassionate world. 7. The practice of loving kindness. The practice of loving kindness, known as metta in Pali, involves sending well wishes and loving thoughts to oneself and others. This simple yet powerful practice can cultivate a sense of interconnectedness and foster a kinder and more caring society. 8. Engaging in right livelihood. The Buddha's teaching on right livelihood encourages us to choose work that aligns with our values and contributes positively to society. By pursuing ethical and meaningful vocations, we can find greater fulfillment in our daily lives. 9. Wisdom for decision-making. The Buddha's teachings offer profound insights into decision-making. By applying the principles of wisdom and compassion, we can make choices that are not only beneficial for ourselves, but also for the greater good of others. 10. The healing power of forgiveness. The practice of forgiveness, a central tenet of the Buddha's teachings, can liberate us from the burden of resentment and grudges. By forgiving ourselves and others, we free our hearts to experience genuine peace and healing. 11. Addressing mental health. The teachings of the Buddha provide valuable tools to address mental health challenges. Meditation, mindfulness, and cultivating positive mental states can promote emotional well-being and help manage stress, anxiety, and depression. 12. Applying ethics and morality. The Buddha's teachings emphasize ethical conduct as a foundation for a harmonious society. By living ethically and cultivating virtuous qualities, we create a conducive environment for personal growth and social harmony. 13. A path to sustainable living. Buddhist teachings on interconnectedness and compassion align with the principles of sustainable living. By cultivating a sense of responsibility towards the environment and all living beings, we can work towards a more sustainable and compassionate world. 14. Embracing diversity and inclusivity. The Buddha's teachings celebrate diversity and inclusivity, reminding us of the inherent worth and dignity of all beings. By embracing diversity and breaking down barriers, we foster a more inclusive and compassionate society. 15. Finding meaning and purpose. In a world filled with distractions and material pursuits, the Buddha's teachings offer a path to find deeper meaning and purpose in life. By aligning our actions with our values and cultivating inner wisdom, we can experience a more fulfilling and purposeful existence. As we conclude this chapter on the Buddha's teachings in the modern world, we are reminded of their profound impact on human lives. The wisdom of the Buddha transcends time and cultural boundaries, offering practical guidance for living with mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. Chapter 14. The Future of Buddhism. In this chapter, we turn our gaze towards the future of Buddhism, the challenges it faces, and the opportunities it holds in the 21st century. As we explore the evolving landscape of Buddhism in the West, and its potential to address the world's problems with the timeless wisdom of the Buddha's teachings. 1. Embracing modernity. In the fast-paced world of the 21st century, Buddhism encounters new challenges and opportunities. As technology and globalization reshape societies, Buddhism must find innovative ways to remain relevant and accessible to people from diverse backgrounds. 2. Preserving tradition. Amidst the wave of modernity, it is essential to preserve the core teachings and traditions of Buddhism. Maintaining the integrity of the Dharma while adapting to the needs of contemporary practitioners is a delicate balance that Buddhist communities strive to achieve. 3. The power of social media. Social media has emerged as a powerful tool for spreading information and connecting people globally. Buddhist organizations are leveraging these platforms to share teachings, build communities, and engage with a wider audience. 4. Engaging the youth. The future of Buddhism lies in the hands of the younger generation. Buddhist leaders and communities are working to engage and inspire young people, making the teachings of the Buddha accessible and relevant to their lives. 5. Adapting to the West. As Buddhism takes root in the West, it encounters diverse cultural contexts and mindsets. Buddhist teachers and practitioners are adapting the teachings to resonate with Western audiences while maintaining the essence of the Dharma. 6. Buddhism and science. The compatibility between Buddhism and science has become an area of exploration. Research on mindfulness, meditation, and the effects of Buddhist practices on mental health has garnered interest and recognition in the scientific community. 7. The call for social engagement. In the face of social and environmental challenges, Buddhists are increasingly embracing engaged Buddhism, a path that encourages active involvement in social issues, driven by compassion and a commitment to alleviating suffering. 8. Building interfaith bridges. Buddhists around the world are participating in interfaith dialogues, fostering understanding and cooperation among different religious traditions. By collaborating with other faiths, Buddhists are working towards shared goals of peace and social harmony. 9. Addressing the climate crisis. Buddhism's teachings on interconnectedness and compassion resonate with efforts to address the pressing issue of climate change. Buddhists are actively engaging in environmental activism and advocating for sustainable living practices. 10. Navigating secularization. In some regions, Buddhism is facing challenges from secularization and changing cultural norms. Buddhist communities are seeking innovative ways to remain relevant and meaningful in the lives of secular individuals. 11. Buddhism in the digital age. With the advent of technology, Buddhist teachings and practices have become more accessible through online platforms, apps, and virtual communities. This digital age presents new avenues for sharing the Dharma and fostering a global Sangha. 12. The quest for gender equality. Buddhism is evolving to address gender disparities and promote gender equality. Many Buddhist communities are working towards inclusive practices that recognize the equal potential of all beings, regardless of gender. 13. Buddhism and healthcare. Mindfulness-based practices from Buddhist traditions have found applications in healthcare settings. From stress reduction to pain management, Buddhist-inspired techniques are being integrated into mainstream health and wellness programs. 14. The path of peace. The Buddha's teachings offer valuable insights for promoting peace and non-violence in a world riddled with conflict. By nurturing the seeds of compassion and understanding, Buddhists can play a significant role in building a more harmonious world. 15. The universality of Buddhist values. Buddhist principles, such as compassion, mindfulness, and ethical conduct, hold universal appeal. The timeless wisdom of the Buddha can serve as a guiding light for people of all backgrounds, fostering a more compassionate and connected world. As we contemplate the future of Buddhism, we are reminded of its profound potential to address the challenges of the 21st century with compassion and wisdom. The teachings of the Buddha continue to inspire and guide people towards greater understanding, love, and inner peace. Chapter 15, Conclusion. A summary of the Buddha's life and teachings, and their significance for the world today. Conclusion. As we reach the conclusion of this enlightening journey through the life and teachings of Lord Buddha, we find ourselves immersed in the timeless wisdom that continues to resonate with people from all walks of life. Let us take a moment to reflect on the essence of Lord Buddha's life and teachings, and their profound significance for the world today. The journey of a great soul. Lord Buddha's journey began in the ancient kingdom of Kapilavastu, where a prophecy foretold the birth of a great soul destined to become a spiritual leader. Born as Prince Siddhartha Gautama, he lived a sheltered life within the palace walls, shielded from the harsh realities of the world. However, a chance encounter with suffering ignited a deep yearning within him to seek the truth of existence beyond the confines of luxury. The Great Renunciation. At the crossroads of comfort and enlightenment, Prince Siddhartha made a momentous decision to leave behind his princely life and embark on a quest for truth. Renouncing his kingdom, he journeyed into the wilderness, seeking guidance from renowned ascetics. Yet he realized that extreme asceticism was not the path to liberation either. Thus he embraced the middle way, a path of moderation and balance. The Enlightenment. Under the Bodhi tree, in deep meditation, Siddhartha experienced the ultimate awakening, the realization of the Four Noble Truths. He attained enlightenment, becoming the Buddha, the awakened one. From that moment, his life's purpose unfolded to share this profound wisdom with all beings, guiding them towards liberation from suffering. The Four Noble Truths. At the core of the Buddha's teachings lies the Four Noble Truths: the truth of suffering, the truth of its origin, the truth of its cessation, and the truth of the path leading to its cessation. These truths serve as a compass for understanding the nature of suffering and the means to transcend it. The Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path elucidates the steps towards living a virtuous and awakened life. It encompasses the aspects of right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. By walking this path, individuals can cultivate wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. The Wheel of Dharma. With compassion and wisdom, the Buddha set the wheel of Dharma in motion, delivering his first teaching to the 5 ascetics at Deer Park in Sarnath. He expounded the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, laying the foundation for his journey as a spiritual teacher and the dissemination of his teachings to the world. The life of a Buddhist monk. Monasticism holds a significant place in Buddhism. Buddhist monks and nuns dedicate their lives to the pursuit of enlightenment and the service of others. They follow a disciplined life, observing precepts, engaging in meditation, and embodying the essence of compassion. The women in the Buddha's life. Women played a vital role in the Buddha's journey. From Queen Maya, his mother who gave birth to him, to Yasodhara, his devoted wife, and Mahapajapati Gautami, the first ordained Buddhist nun, women stood as exemplars of strength, wisdom, and devotion. The Buddha acknowledged the equal potential of men and women, establishing a path of liberation accessible to all. The death of the Buddha. After a life of spreading the Dharma far and wide, the Buddha undertook his final journey to Kushinagara. At the age of 80, surrounded by disciples, he attained parinirvana, passing away into final liberation. Before his passing, he left behind his last words and entrusted his teachings to his followers. The legacy of the Buddha. The Buddha's legacy lives on through the continued spread of his teachings and the development of Buddhism into a major world religion. Over the centuries, Buddhism has embraced diverse cultures and enriched countless lives with its transformative wisdom. The Buddha's teachings today. In the present age, the Buddha's teachings remain as relevant as ever. Amidst the challenges of the modern world, people seek solace and guidance from the profound wisdom of the Dharma. The practices of mindfulness, compassion, and ethical living hold the potential to bring about positive change in individual lives and society. The future of Buddhism. As Buddhism ventures into the future, it encounters new challenges and opportunities. In the West, it finds resonance with individuals seeking spiritual fulfillment and inner peace. Engaged Buddhism addresses contemporary social and environmental issues, aligning with the global pursuit of peace and sustainability. Conclusion. The tale of Lord Buddha transcends time, inviting people from all ages and backgrounds to explore the path of awakening and compassion. His teachings inspire us to embrace mindfulness, cultivate loving-kindness, and live with wisdom and virtue. In this journey through the life and teachings of Lord Buddha, we have witnessed the greatness of a soul who dedicated his life to the alleviation of suffering and the awakening of hearts. The story of the Buddha teaches us that within each of us lies the potential for enlightenment, the capacity to transform our lives and bring light to the world. As we close this chapter, let us carry the flame of understanding, love, and peace ignited by Lord Buddha and share it with the world. May the wisdom of the Dharma guide us on our journey towards inner liberation, and may the spirit of compassion lead us to uplift others in their pursuit of happiness and fulfillment. Chapter 16, Summary of all chapters. Chapter 1, The Birth of the Buddha. The first chapter introduces us to the remarkable life of Lord Buddha, beginning with the prophecy that foretold his birth as a great soul. We delve into his early life as Prince Siddhartha, his education, and his marriage. This chapter sets the foundation for the transformative journey that awaits the prince. Chapter 2, The Great Renunciation. In this chapter, we witness Prince Siddhartha's pivotal decision to renounce his luxurious life and embark on a quest for truth and enlightenment. His encounters with ascetics and his realization of the middle way, a path of balance, lay the groundwork for his profound spiritual journey. Chapter 3, The Enlightenment. Under the Bodhi tree, the Buddha experiences the ultimate awakening, the realization of the Four Noble Truths. This chapter portrays the profound moment when the Buddha attains enlightenment and the beginning of his sacred mission as a spiritual teacher. Chapter 4, The Four Noble Truths. Central to Buddhist philosophy, the Four Noble Truths form the core of the Buddha's teachings. We explore the truths of suffering, its origin, its cessation, and the path leading to liberation. Understanding these truths is essential for those seeking a path to freedom from suffering. Chapter 5, The Middle Way. The chapter delves deeper into the middle way, the path that avoids extremes of asceticism and indulgence. The Buddha teaches the importance of moderation and balance, guiding us towards a harmonious and mindful way of living. Chapter 6, The Five Precepts. In this chapter, we learn about the 5 precepts, the ethical guidelines that guide Buddhists to live a compassionate and nonviolent life. Emphasizing compassion towards all living beings, these precepts inspire us to lead a life of goodness and kindness. Chapter 7, The Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path outlines the steps to a virtuous and awakened life. It comprises 8 aspects that encompass wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. This chapter provides a detailed explanation of each aspect, guiding us towards a transformative journey. Chapter 8, The Wheel of Dharma. At the deer park in Sarnath, the Buddha delivers his first teaching, setting the wheel of Dharma in motion. This chapter chronicles the beginning of the Buddha's role as a spiritual teacher and the spread of his teachings across lands. Chapter 9, The Life of a Buddhist Monk. Monasticism holds a significant place in Buddhism. This chapter sheds light on the daily life of Buddhist monks, including their vows, practices, and duties. It also explores the role of monks in the Buddhist community and their dedication to spiritual pursuit. Chapter 10, The Women in the Buddha's Life. Women played a crucial role in the Buddha's journey. This chapter highlights the importance of women in his life, from his mother to his devoted wife and the first female disciples. The Buddha's teachings on gender equality and the empowerment of women are also explored. Chapter 11, The Death of the Buddha. In his final journey to Kushinagara, the Buddha attains parinirvana, final liberation. This chapter captures the significance of his passing, his last words, and the guidance he imparts to his disciples, ensuring that his teachings continue to shine brightly. Chapter 12, The Legacy of the Buddha. The spread of the Buddha's teachings and the development of Buddhism into a major world religion form the legacy of Lord Buddha. This chapter explores the enduring influence of the Buddha's wisdom on other religions and cultures. Chapter 13, The Buddha's Teachings Today. In the contemporary world, the Buddha's teachings remain as relevant as ever. This chapter reveals how his timeless wisdom can help people live happier, more meaningful lives amidst the challenges of the modern world. Chapter 14, The Future of Buddhism. The final chapter explores the future of Buddhism, addressing the challenges and opportunities it faces in the 21st century. From embracing modernity and engaging the youth to advocating for social and environmental change, Buddhism continues to offer guidance and hope. Chapter 15, Conclusion. In the conclusion, we reflect on the essence of Lord Buddha's life and teachings, the compassion, wisdom, and profound significance they hold for the world today. We carry the light of understanding and love, inspired by the journey of a great soul who dedicated his life to awakening hearts and alleviating suffering. Chapter 17. Quotes of Lord Buddha's from the book Know About Lord Buddha, A Great Teacher of the World's History by Saurabh Singh Chauhan. Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. Three things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. The mind is everything. What you think you become. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. The only real failure in life is not to be true to the best one knows. Happiness never decreases by being shared. Thousands of candles can be lighted from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. Just as a flower does not pick and choose the bees that come to it, a compassionate heart does not pick and choose who to love. The greatest prayer is patience. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. The root of suffering is attachment. Believe nothing, no matter where you read it or who said it, no matter if I have said it, unless it agrees with your own reason and your own common sense. To understand everything is to forgive everything. You will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger. When you realize how perfect everything is, you will tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. Your work is to discover your world, and then with all your heart, give yourself to it. A generous heart, kind speech, and a life of service and compassion are the things which renew humanity. No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. In the end, only three things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. Radiate boundless love towards the entire world above, below, and across unhindered, without ill will, without enmity.